I'm going to tell you 3 scary stories of people traveling alone. And the scariest part is that all of these actually happened. So make sure to stay safe when you're out there exploring the world. But for now, let's get into it. No. 3. The Hitchhiker. A man decided to take a road trip from San Diego to, he packed his bags, got in his car, and started driving. After a while, he had to stop for gas. When he got out of her car, he noticed a man in the parking lot who appeared to be lost and trying to fix a flat tire. This was just a few years ago. So instead of going inside the station, the man used his phone to call the man and ask if he wanted a ride. And luckily, he accepted. The two got along well, so they started talking, and the man even offered to pay for his gas. While driving, the hitchhiker told the man that he had been dropped off at the wrong place and that his father was already looking for him because he thought he was kidnapped. At this point, the driver began to get scared, but he continued to drive until he reached the man's house. Before arriving, the man asked to stop to withdraw some money to pay him back. However, when they arrived at the destination, it wasn't a house, it was a deserted warehouse. The man said that he would wait for his dad there, so the driver waited with him for about 10 minutes. Then he finally left to look for his dad. Suddenly, the man grabbed him by the arm and begged him not to go, because he said his father was dangerous and wouldn't hesitate to hurt him. He tried to get away, but the man pulled his back and said, "If you don't help me, I will kill you." In a panic, the driver managed to free himself and ran away as fast as he could. From that moment on, he never looked back. No, wrong turn. A man decided to walk through the woods near his home after becoming fascinated by a video game that took place in the forest. He didn't tell anyone where he was going or how long he planned to be gone. Several days passed and the man hadn't returned home. His wife called the police, who launched a search and rescue operation to find him. As the days went by without any leads, the hope of finding him alive began to dwindle. One evening, a hiker came across a tent deep in the woods and cautiously approached it. To his surprise, the tent was occupied by the missing man. Overwhelmed with joy, the hiker knocked on the tent to inform the authorities about his discovery. However, when the police arrived at the scene, they made a horrifying realization. The man had taken his own life. It was later discovered that he had suffered from severe depression, which led to him ending his own life. Although the story has a tragic ending, the quick reactions of the hiker helped bring closure to the family and allowed them to lay him to rest. Number 1. The van. A young woman named Lauren was traveling alone when she broke down in the middle of nowhere. She found a van and decided to hide in it until help arrived. She had no idea that a group of sinister men were watching her every move. Inside the van, Lauren began to feel uneasy as she heard noises around her. She tried to calm herself down and convinced herself that everything was fine. Just then, one of the men entered the van and sat next to her. Introducing himself as Mark, he engaged in conversation with Lauren, attempting to make her feel comfortable. However, she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong. Mark suggested that they travel together for safety, and Lauren agreed, hoping for a faster ride to the nearest gas station. Unfortunately, instead of heading towards civilization, Mark drove them further into the desolate countryside. Lauren began to panic, realizing that she had made a terrible mistake. She tried to escape, but Mark caught her and dragged her back to the car. Just as he was about to assault her, Lauren managed to grab a nearby stick and hit him as hard as she could. Startled by her sudden attack, Mark swerved the van, causing it to crash. Lauren took advantage of the chaos and fled into the forest, leaving the injured Mark behind. Despite being terrified, she kept running until she came across a highway. A truck driver spotted Lauren on the side of the road and offered her water and food. When she explained what had happened, the driver immediately called the police and helped her file a missing persons report for herself. Although shaken by the experience, Lauren was grateful for the help she received and knew that she had narrowly escaped a terrible fate. Well, that's all for today. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. If you have any scary stories of your own, feel free to share them with us and you might see your story in a future video. Until next time, stay safe and watch your back.